What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Your favorite statue reviewer here, the undisputed champion. Don't even bother. Don't do it. And I'm here reviewing another statue, one that I didn't think I was gonna be doing a review again for like another year, but here we are. This was a surprise hit, one that I didn't think I was gonna be getting in, one that honestly I didn't think I'd ever get the chance to see in person to begin with. This is a custom Carnage statue. I can't go into detail about who made it and etc. for, you know, reasons. But what I can say is that this was limited to a run of 50 pieces. Not sure what number I have because I didn't check the base when I unboxed it. I'm not doing that now, so oops. This is a Carnage statue with a guest with Doppelganger. And a couple things before I get into the actual statue. First of all, I've owned more Carnage statues than any other character actually, which is funny because Carnage isn't even my favorite character. I don't dislike him. Obviously, I have a statue of him, but he's not my favorite Spider-Man villain or anything like that. But I've owned the Sideshow premium format, which I still have, still trying to get rid of. I've owned the XM Carnage, and now this. So that makes three, a grand total of three, which I know is light work for some of y'all, but look at me, come on, give me some credit. And also, I got this statue from Louis Villamar from the groups. You all know him, and I really hope I didn't fuck up his last name. If I did, then I am terribly sorry. And he did repaint some of this statue. I'm not exactly sure what, but I know it's just Carnage. I don't think he touched Doppelganger or the base. He might have touched Doppelganger. Actually, I really don't know. I know he didn't touch the base. I know he definitely repainted some of Carnage. He repainted the portrait or parts of the portrait, I think parts of the body. He might have done Doppelganger too. I really don't know. But I'm just telling you because this isn't one-to-one exactly what it's going to look like if you get one or if you have one and you're watching this. I mean, it still looks more or less the same. I compared it to pictures and stuff when it was on the way, and I mean, it looks the same. I think the repaints were just subtle. And judging from just the base, it's a good paint job to begin with, so I'm pretty sure I don't think the paint was bad or anything. I just think it's Lewis. He likes to just let him have his fun, Anyway, limited to 50 pieces, Carnage Doppelganger. So, let's talk about this thing. I'm still in shock. I really did not think I would ever get the chance to own this. And here we are. So the base is heavy as fuck, dude. It's like I count Doppelganger as part of the base because like he's on the base, but I mean it's the top of some building. I'm pretty sure the top of some building. Carnage is busting through the roof, hitting the sign. There's like a newspaper headline up here. It's pretty cool. I thought that was a nice touch. I didn't actually read it until later, but there's actually like an X-Men Easter egg on there. Yeah, mutant school invaded by government agents. And then there's just, a main newspaper headline here. So yeah, a rubble rooftop base with this sign with, one of those like neon signs that you see downtown and things like that. Doppelganger is pictured here coming out of some like pipe thing. Like I'm assuming this is like a sewer pipe. And you can actually display him without Doppelganger. You can take him out of here. It's just a half body. You just take him out of here. And then you pop this little grate where Doppelganger would be right now. So it covers up the hole and makes it look natural. It's not like awkward, like why is there a fat hole right there? You know what I mean? So they thought of it. They thought of that. And I thought I was actually not going to use Doppelganger when I got it in. I looked at pictures and stuff, and I was like, I don't know. I don't really care for Doppelganger to begin with. I mean, I don't really care for him as a character to start out with, and I didn't really think he was needed on the statue. But I don't know, dude. Seeing it in person, Doppelganger's pretty well done. Now, I still might switch it out every now and then just for something new, but for the time being, Doppelganger is definitely staying on the statue. Something else I wanted to appreciate. Look, you're never going to see the back of the statue, ever. But these two little things, pipes, whatever, these are separate pieces. They attach there. They didn't have to put... I mean, not that it's like a super cool thing or anything, but still, just the fact that they added pipes. Look, these pop magnets, these pop right off. You know what I mean? So the fact that they chose to add extra pieces to the back of the base that you're never going to see, I think is pretty cool. I just like attention to detail, going the extra mile and stuff. So yeah, Carnage is crashing. I mean, the motion of this, you can tell he's crashing through the roof of this building. There's the black goo everywhere as he's doing his thing. And what's amazing about this? This looks like it is ripped straight out of the page of a comic book. It looks like it could be a comic book cover. I mean, this is so comic accurate. It's really nice. And I love Maximum Carnage. This the series when I read it, and just seeing this just makes me think Maximum Carnage. And I think I have Maximum Carnage, not like the actual issues, but like a paperback or something. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I have the story. It's a cool story. It's a classic. I mean, any Spider-Man fan knows Maximum Carnage. So the paint on the base is really well done too. In the areas where it's needed, it looks really rusty and weathered, like this sign right here, the arrow here, which I really hope the camera can pick up enough to like show you what I'm talking about, because obviously it's different in person, but it's rusty where it needs to be rusty. The stone has this actual stone feel to it and look to it. I mean, they did a good job with all the different elements of the base. There's a lot going on in this statue, if you couldn't tell. There's a lot going on here, and they managed to paint everything accordingly. The base does light up. These little bulbs light up. However, I'm not using it because you plug in, there's like a little thingy you plug in, you can probably see the hole back here. Every time I turn this thing, I'm afraid Carnage is going. He's secure in there, don't get me wrong, but it's just me being paranoid. Like, there's a hole over here. You plug the the plug. You know the plug in, and it plugs into the wall and it lights up. I'm glad it's not batteries, because those are like a pain and a bitch to swap. I don't know. And batteries and statues, just whatever. But I still haven't used the light up. I might eventually. We'll see. But I never really cared for light ups and statues that much. So you might never, see me use it. But it's the thing is, it's nice that they added it. They think of these things that aren't needed, like Doppelganger, for example. They could have made Doppelganger a required element of the statue. They could have been like, you either take both of these guys or you fuck off and you're not getting the statue. But no, like, you don't have to have Doppelganger if you don't want. Put this guy on there. The light up feature, let's be honest, I don't really think anyone needed a light up feature on this thing, but they put one there anyway. The Easter egg newspaper thing, I like that attention to detail. There's just a lot of things on this statue that scream passion. The people involved in this project are very passionate about the characters and the lore and the comic book source material. It's a lot of custom style. That's a whole separate video, but the custom scene is wild, but this is one of the good ones. So on to Carnage himself. You can already tell, he's lunging through this building, and he's only supported by a fat, like, long rod in this leg, which kind of sounds scary in theory, but I mean it works, dude. He obviously if you move him around, he'll wobble. Not really, honestly. I mean, trying to move just Carnage and moving the whole thing. He's secure in there. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. They thought about the engineering. He's secure in there. Well, his foot is also touching this part of the base, but it's not secured there with anything. It's just contact. There's no magnet or peg or rod. The sculpt on Carnage is insane. It's super comic accurate, but at the same time looks really lifelike. You know, the striations, the muscle separation in the skin and the reds between the the black symbiote parts, it looks really lifelike and it looks like it's alive and flowing. It's I sound like I'm tripping, but I mean you gotta see it, dude. You just gotta see it. You had to be there. The tendrils, which I'll talk more about the tendrils later, but the tendrils, at least how they look, it's really great. I mean, it's the Sideshow Premium format just did like all black tendrils, and so did the XM Carnage, and that was like a kind of a pet peeve of mine because Carnage's tendrils are not supposed to be just black. They're red and black, and they're not just tendrils. They take shapes too. I'm so glad some of these tendrils, they look just like, tendrils, but then some of them have like these spikes and scythe elements to them. And it just, again, it's just, I look at this dude and I think about the people who made this statue and I'm just thinking, wow, they really love Carnage. They really love Carnage. And it's just so nice to have a passion project like that in front of me. So the sculpt is incredible. The tendrils are great. We talk about the tendrils. They're not very well engineered, at least not as well as the rest of the statue. A lot of them, especially this one up here, I mean, look, I just popped it right out. I mean, there's no magnet at all. You can't convince me there's a magnet in there. It sits in there. It's not secure at all. Very few of the tendrils are secure, if I'm being honest. But good thing that as long as you don't mess with it, they're not going anywhere. You set it and forget it. I mean, even the table's been wobbling and they're not falling out. It's not like that, but I feel like the tendrils could have been engineered. It's really the smaller ones that have the issue. The bigger ones are fine, but could have been engineered a little bit better. Surprisingly, the Sideshow PF is the best when it comes to the tendrils engineering. They're kind of hard to get in there, but once they're in there, they're not moving. They're not at all. The portrait, dude. The portrait. This is this is a Mark Bagley Carnage portrait. This is ripped straight from a comic book. No changes, no nothing. The eyes, the teeth, this is a portrait. I mean, I love this so a lot. You also get a transformation portrait with Cletus becoming Carnage. And this is very reminiscent of the XM Venom transformation head as well. It's kind of a similar style, but I like this more, a lot more. And I think this is one of the single best portraits I've seen in person ever. It's so menacing. I mean, you can see his tongue behind the teeth there. It's painted well. The eyes are painted very well. I mean, I'm impressed. For eyes, they're really well done. You put it on there so you can see it. Boom. Yeah, I love that. I mean, that portrait with like the motion and the pose of the statue, it just fits so well. Because Cletus is a serial killer. He's deranged. He's psychotic, and this just captures that so well. You also get a couple of switch out arms. One extra arm for each arm. I don't really like the extra arm for this one. It's literally just a straight sword kind of thing. And I mean, it looks nice. I mean, on its own, it looks dope, but I don't really care for it on the statue because when you put it on, I'm not going to switch it out because I don't really feel like it. But it just doesn't, I like the hand. When I picture Carnage busting out this building, I don't imagine he would have done so with like just a straight sword edge hand. I feel like that hand works better for the scene that the statue's trying to paint. Now that hand is a different story. Both of the arms you get for the left arm are badass. That one is what I have now. I mean, I don't even know what I would like call that. It's just claws, dude. It's sick. I mean, I like this a lot. And you also get this, which is a scythe, and it's big. This is my hand. Like, this is my face. I mean, I'm just saying. I'll swap this out though, because I do want you to see that. I hope I don't break this on camera. That would be fun. I'd still post it so you guys can see, but I'd be crying on the inside, probably the outside too. Let's put that on. Please don't break. I should probably like stand my lazy ass up to do this, shouldn't I? There we go. I think I like this one a little bit more, just because the scythe is so fucking huge. But they're both incredible. They're both very well done. You put the other head back on. What else is there to talk about this? I talk about the base, the sculpt, the paint, Carnage, the switch outs. I mean, that's pretty much it, dude. Like when it comes down to it, this is one of those custom statues that had a lot of passion put into it, and it wasn't just made just to be made. I mean, again, I don't want to go into too much detail, but a lot of these custom statues are, for lack of a better word, not good. And this is one of the good ones. And I'm gonna leave it at that. So that's all. That is the statue, custom Carnage and half doppelganger statue. Incredible. If you can get your hands on one, the opportunity doesn't present itself that often, but if you can get your hands on one, buy it. This is really something else. I'm impressed. I had such high expectations, and I'm a pretty critical person to begin with. And aside from like the couple nitpicks I had, the tendril engineering and the sword hand, which are minor to begin with, I have nothing else to complain about. This is an incredible statue. Huge, if you couldn't tell when I was, picking up these parts. Again, like this is just the hand, and it's tall as my face. Incredible. So yeah, buy it. Seriously, if you're a Carnage fan, fucking buy this statue. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I already said that, but whatever. Until next time, fellas. I have XM Dr. Octopus coming in whenever he's supposed to ship, but who knows? I might get a couple. This guess I wasn't planned, so might get another one. Who knows? But I love each and every single one of you. Appreciate each and every single one of you. You are all beautiful and amazing, precious and loved. I'm gonna hug you all. That hug. Come on. Until then, peace, guys.